Conservative new media viewers, Manny Pacquiao fans, and Juan Manuel Marquez fans around the world, what is going on? Now, we just checked out the third episode of the Pacquiao versus Marquez 4 24/7 on HBO. I actually watched it on CNN, but now we want to kind of recap and react and analyze what we saw. Now, in the first part of the episode, we started out in the wild card gym. It showed that Manny Pacquiao was back in town and that it was sparring day at the gym. Now, they also mentioned that Pacquiao's training was delayed by 2 weeks in terms of his going to L.A. He did the first 2 weeks of his camp that was going to be in L.A. He did it instead in General Santos City back in the Philippines. But Freddie Roach, the trainer, said that Pacquiao came in great shape. And Pacquiao was talking about how training is hard work. It's very hard work. No light stuff. Pacquiao was also saying that he's doing a more intense version of training for this fight with Marquez than he's been doing the last couple of fights. Freddie Roach said that he would be giving a bonus to Pacquiao if he could get a knockdown or a knockout of any of the sparring partners, I believe. And he also said that he was offering a bonus to the sparring mates as well if they could KO or knock down Pacquiao. Now, Pacquiao said that he wants to finish Juan Manuel Marquez in this fight, meaning he wants to get a knockout if he can get it. And they show that Pacquiao was pretty aggressive and he knocked down one of the sparring partners in the camp for the first time. They talked with Jesse Roman, who is one of Pacquiao's sparring partners, and he said that I can tell that Manny Pacquiao is more aggressive for this fight, and he wants to show everybody that he's a winner and he's the better fighter in this fight coming up. They took a moment for Pacquiao to lead a prayer before they resumed sparring. And then Freddie Roach was going to give Pacquiao some of the bonus money, I guess, for the knockdown, but Pacquiao said he couldn't take it. And then I believe the narrator mentioned that this new version of Manny Pacquiao doesn't gamble, doesn't drink, just kind of given up a lot of his old vices, and he's probably a better fighter and a better man for doing that. And then finally in the segment, Freddie Roach mentioned that he doesn't tell Manny Pacquiao what to do anymore. Instead, Manny Pacquiao tells him what to do. So Manny Pacquiao's basically running the show rather than Freddie Roach, who is the trainer. Then we went down to Mexico City to the Romanza gym, and Marquez started out by saying, look, I've been training to face Manny Pacquiao since the last fight ended. We have just kind of been continuing the training that we did. We've been doing more power and speed training, and they're working on new strategies. And they showed him doing some punching, looking good. He looked great. He said that training is hard. Feels like he's already in there fighting Manny Pacquiao. And he said he's consumed by his training. And they mentioned that there wasn't going to be any filming of the sparring sessions for JMM because he doesn't want any video to leak out so that Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach could see it. Apparently, the last time in the last fight, some of the training sparring did leak out the footage, and so they don't want that to happen again. Now, they showed Juan Manuel destroying a speed bag. They had just set up a new speed bag, and he broke it again. And then finally in the segment, they showed Juan Manuel doing cupping therapy, because it's like a recovery type of treatment, a little bit like an alternative medicine type of thing, where the guy was basically like, I don't know what he was doing. It was like lighting smoke or something in the cups, and then like literally like glass cups that you drink out of. And he was putting them all over Juan Manuel Marquez's his back after the training session. But he said that Juan Manuel really likes it. So whatever works for you. We came back. We went back to L.A. They showed Manny Pacquiao going on the Jimmy Kimmel show, which he has done regularly. Jimmy Kimmel is a late-night talk show host here in the United States. They said that it was Manny's 7th appearance on the show. They did kind of a little skit, like a little sketch, making fun of 24/7. That's kind of funny. So it's like we're watching a TV show making fun of 24/7 in the 24/7 episode. And they had like one of Jimmy's buddies, Guillermo, he supposedly is going to fight Manny Pacquiao, and it's just funny stuff. You check it out for yourself. Then they had a scene of the after party from the Kimmel show that was held at Pacquiao's place. A whole bunch, tons of people were there. It looked like there was at least, 30, 40, 50 people there. In one part of the apartment or the layout, they were having a darts tournament with 3 boards, it looks like. And then Manny was playing chess against someone, and they were just having a good time, having fun. Everybody was digging it. So we faded out of that, and we kind of got a contrast where Manny Pacquiao's having fun, kind of having a good time. And we go to Mexico City again. It's 4 a.m, and Juan Manuel Marquez is just getting ready to start training. So it's like, again, you kind of get like one guy maybe he's pouring a little bit. Juan Manuel's very serious. They talked about how he's doing explosive training with the strength and conditioning coach, Angel Hernandez. They showed JMM doing plyometrics, which is basically, in this context, it was him jumping up on one of the boards that's used for plyometrics. You jump up, you jump back down, you jump up. They showed him doing this. Said Juan Manuel is very pleased with the results of working with Angel Hernandez. He says that he feels like he's renewed at this point in his career. Again, Juan Manuel is 39 years old, but he looks great. He looks ripped. He looks fit. He really looks good. And he said that he is ready to win. Now, they did a little bit of a backdrop on Angel Hernandez. I guess in the past, there was controversy. He worked with some Olympic athletes, apparently. And they said that with the whole controversy of performance-enhancing drugs with some of the Olympic athletes, they said that Hernandez turned state's evidence against Trevor Graham, and they kind of went over that a little bit. Marquez came on to the screen and says, look, I know that Angel had issues, but that's in the past. None of that occurred with me. And he's like, look, I'll take a test. Anybody wants to take a test, I'll take a test. Angel then was shown, and he said, look, Marquez, trust me. I'm not here to mess with his career. I don't want to mess with his career. In other words, he's a legend. Everything's cool. Angel's like, look, we welcome testing. We'll do whatever testing we want. And then the narrator said that Hernandez actually works to help authorities do testing now. And then finally, at the end of the little segment, they showed Marquez. I think he was on a track early in the morning, saying that he's ready to kick butt. He's ready to go. Came back to L.A. We started looking at Freddie Roach, and they showed Freddie driving his car there in L.A. And he said, they talked about how he came from Boston, and now he's in L.A. He said that he moved to the West Coast rather than become a working stiff in Boston, is the way that he put it. He said that he left his high school sweetheart. Everything was set up. Everything was planned out, whatever, but he just felt he needed to go to the West Coast, I believe, to pursue his boxing career, which then became a boxing trainer career. They showed his mother, who hangs out at the Wild Card Gym there a lot, apparently. It was cool to see her. The narrator talked about how 2012 has been a tough year for Freddie Roach. Some of his top fighters lost, including Pacquiao, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and Amir Khan, who ended up firing Freddie Roach after he lost. And then they showed Freddie Roach, and he's like saying, look, I'm wondering if I'm losing my touch. He said, I've lost 3 fights in a row, and he mentioned how there was some span of like 4 or 5 or 6 years where he only lost 3 fights in that entire period of time, like 4 or 5 years, and now he's lost 3 fights in a row. Says that sometimes he can't sleep because, the losing. He said he hates to lose, and he feels like December 8th against Juan Manuel is going to be redemption for him. Then they showed Pacquiao saying, look, I'm not going to let Freddie Roach down. We're going to do our thing. We faded away from that segment, came back, went back to Mexico City, and they showed Nacho Beristain. And they showed him like how he's got very much a routine that he follows day in, day out. And when he comes back from the gym after training sessions, he listens to classical music. And he'll sit there and he'll listen to classical music, then he'll read. And even though Nacho is 73 years old, he says, look, I don't nap. I don't have time for naps. Then he goes upstairs after listening to the classical music, and he's studying video. Now, they showed him using a breathing device. Apparently, recently he had a bout with pneumonia that he feels like he contracted from somebody on a plane, I believe. They showed him doing Stairmaster. He's talking about how he's still really strong, even though he's 73. He says he never gets sick. He loves to work, keeps him going. They talked about how Juan Manuel Marquez has been with Beristain since Juan Manuel was 12 years old, so that's 27 years. Beristain says, look, Juan Manuel really cares about his work, really takes pride in it, takes a lot of pride in his boxing. He also said Marquez is a great human being as well. Then they showed Marquez. Marquez basically said, look, Beristain needs boxing. That's his passion. He said, without boxing, I don't know what Beristain would do. This is his entire life. Then finally they showed Beristain saying, you know, I've had 25 world champions, and I'm hoping that I can get to 30 before I leave this world. So that's pretty cool. Then we went into the final, the wrap-up, and the narrator was saying, you know, all of these guys, they seek the challenge. They need the fulfillment of winning and competing and succeeding. And they have to have a chance. They're looking for that, you know, any chance they can get to be able to win and succeed. Beristain said that we're looking for the perfect fight next Saturday against Manny Pacquiao. He said it's going to be a perfect fight. That's what we want, just like last time. But this time we're going to do it with more force. We're going to do more damage than we did in the last fight. Freddie Roach then said, I can't wait to shut Nacho Beristain and Juan Manuel Marquez up in the fight. So we're going to have a big celebration after we beat them. Freddie Roach then said, I think Manny Pacquiao can get a knockout against Juan Manuel Marquez. Then they showed the two fighters. Manny said, I want an impressive win in this fight. Want to prove to all the doubters and the people that thought I haven't done that well in the 3 fights against Marquez or the 3 fights, his last fights, that, you know, I'm for real and I'm still Manny Pacquiao. I'm the great fighter that everybody remembers. And then they showed Marquez. This was the final segment of the show, the final clip. He said, look, you know, Manny and I respect each other as professionals, but this rivalry is starting to get personal. He said there's going to be more anger. It's getting heavier, and that's going to show up in the fight. You know, it's going to see more aggression and just, you know, just some of the dislike that's kind of built up because of how this rivalry's gone. It's gone on for so long, and all the controversy and the scoring and who really won and all that stuff. So that was it. And then they mentioned that the 24/7 finale is going to be next Friday night, I believe. And then the fight is, of course, next Saturday night. That is an HBO pay-per-view event from Las Vegas, Nevada. Look, this was a great episode. This episode was about 3 things. It was about training and each fighter's approach to this training camp. It was about the trainers, Nacho Beristain and Freddie Roach, and it was about what motivates the fighters and the trainers. You know, all of these guys are very passionate about the sport. They all want to win. They feel like they've got something to prove, and this is what it's all about. And I know that the more I watch these episodes, it's like the more I just can't wait for the fight, man. This is going to be a great fight. I do think we will see a different fight in the 4th fight than what we've seen in the other 3. I do think, as Marquez said, I think it's going to be more aggression. I think these guys are going to come out swinging harder, looking to land heavier shots. Maybe this thing's not going to go the distance, and I could see somebody getting knocked out in this fight. Now, Marquez looked awesome. If you look at him, his fitness, he looks amazing. You know, he's got good veins going on in his arms. He looked fast. He looks, you know, he looks focused. He definitely looks like he wants to prove something. But Pacquiao looks the same way. And Pacquiao, you know, he's clean in terms of the gambling and everything. He's not partying, so it's like he's getting better training. You know, his body is more rested than it probably was in the past if he's staying up gambling and doing whatever. So it's like, you know, this is going to be a fascinating fight. Now, we, of course, Conservative New Media, we will be making a prediction or predictions on this fight. We still got to get more information, get weigh-ins, all this type of stuff. So stay tuned for that, though. We will be making a prediction or predictions on our fight. Look, this was great. I love seeing Freddie Roach's mom. Love seeing the spots about Berestein and Freddie Roach. You know, you can just see how consumed Nacho Berestein is with the sport. He's just basically a boxing junkie, and it's cool, man. It's just very cool to see it. I mean, obviously, Freddie Roach has spent his life in the sport as well. He was a fighter, now he's a trainer. So that's it, man. That's the wrap up. This is great stuff. I think that if this stuff, watching these episodes, doesn't get you fired up to watch this fight, then I just think you probably don't like boxing, because I'm pumped up. I think this is going to be a terrific fight. I can't wait for the final episode of this series, and I can't wait for the fight. And that's it for now. Give us your comments below. Thumbs up, thumbs down on this video. Of course, we will include a link to a preview of episode 3. HBO has not put the full episode up yet. When they do, we'll link to it, so you can look for that. But we do have a link to a preview in the video description below the video player right now. You will also find a link for the Conservative New Media Facebook group. You can come and join that. Over 2,000 members and growing all the time. I am Paul F. Villarreal. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We will talk to you again soon.